ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka, ooga, ooga, ooga shaka.
I'm hooked on a feeling,
Ooga, ooga,
a guardian feeling
ooga shaka.
in my fantasy movie league. Hello and welcome to Visual Recreation, the essential video guide to winning FML each and every week. I'm your local movie buff, Andrew.
And I'm Joey, the strategy guy, and before we take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy this week, let's do a short little recap of what happened last week in the box office. Last week we talked a lot about the Lost City of Z. If it could increase in theaters, it had the potential of making the bonus. Well, it increased the theater count, but it fell short on making the bonus. And then last week, Latin Lover was very under-predicted by everyone's standards as it came in at $12 million. Who would have thought
I
that?
didn't at all.
And then another surprise of last week. Last week was full of surprises.
Too many surprises.
Too many surprises. I mean, you got Bahubali Part 2, the conclusion, that came in at $10 million. Who would have thought that? And then one of the biggest surprises of last week was that there were no perfect cinemas. That's right, you heard it. No one selected the perfect cinema last week. And that's only, I believe, the third time that's happened in Fantasy Movie League history.
That's right, and the perfect cinema, just to recap, was 7 How to Be a Latin Lovers and 1 Get Out, with Get Out getting the bonus. It's last week, it pulled out all the punches.
Yeah.
It's finally here! Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 has come to Earth to guard us from boredom this weekend. Now this is a sequel to the Disney Marvel smash hit that came out in 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy. This stars Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, Michael Rooker, Sylvester Stallone, and Kurt Russell, and the list just goes on and on.
Everyone's in this movie.
Miley Cyrus, David Hasselhoff. And this movie was written by James Gunn, who wrote and directed the first one in this trilogy, and he was also said to be directing and writing the next one. I remember seeing the first one in the summer of 2014. I went in there not knowing what to expect, and let me tell you right now, this sequel has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, the bar is set really high for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but Rotten Tomatoes, the first movie had a 91%, and then currently Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is sitting at an 85%, so expectations are extremely high.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, I read some of these bad reviews, and I mean, some of them just sound like they were trying to nitpick the movie to not, to just find something wrong with it. I mean, do you hear clickbait or anything? Let's not kid ourselves. I think we all know that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is going to be box office gold. I mean, it's split into 3 different days. So I think the only question is, how many box office records is it going to break in its debut weekend?
It's time for the top 5 this week, and coming in at number 5, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Bahubali, the conclusion, it's Part 2. It did really well last week, surprised a ton of people as it came in with 10 million. However, this weekend we're looking at a 55% drop, so it's going to be $4.5 million. Then coming in at number 4, we have Boss Baby, looking to drop 45% to bring in $5 million. And then How to Be a Latin Lover, that also surprised a lot of people last week, over $12 million. All the projections were looking at $6 million. However, this week it's looking to drop 50% to bring in $6 million. This brings us to number 2 is F8, The Fate of the Furious. And that's looking to drop 61%, and it's gonna go down to $7.7 million. And then of course the movie that has all the expectation, leaning on to the movie that everyone's been waiting for, coming in at number 1 over the box office, smashing, blasting, taking down records. You're looking at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which has been split up into 3 days. We're projecting it to make a total of $178 million. But if you're looking to pick this movie on Friday, you can look at $67 million. And then Saturday, it's gonna drop to $58 million, and then Sunday, $53 million.
So it's time for some early Fantasy Movie League picks. These are just some options. You can pick 1 Guardians of the Galaxy on Friday with 7 F8
The
Fate of the Furious. Then that will come to a total of about $120.9 million.
That's right.
Or you can also go with 2 Guardians of the Galaxy on Sunday, 2 F8, The Fate of the Furious, and 4 Beauty and the Beast, which will bring you around a total of $140.5 million.
Here's some other options for you. You can put in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday, then F8, The Fate of the Furious, and then 4 Bahubali, The Conclusion, Part 2, and that'll bring you around $141.2 million. Okay, and if you're looking to choose Guardians of the Galaxy on Sunday, you can put 2 Guardians of the Galaxy in there. You can put 4 F8, The Fate of the Furious, and then you can add 2 Bahubalis to finish up your Cineplex, and that's actually looking to get you around $145.8 million.
Do you smell what I smell?
What's that?
I think that's the food for thought. It's almost ready. What do we got, Joey?
This week we're taking a look at a few potential bonus makers. With Guardians of the Galaxy looking to blast through some records this weekend, a lot of these movies, if not all of these movies, are gonna drop significantly. And one of those movies that we think might have a chance to get bonus is Bahubali Part 2, The Conclusion. And if it drops anywhere from 50 to 55%, it's still gonna make $4.5 to $6 million. And if it does that with its low price point in FML, then it could very well take home the bonus. Another movie that could potentially bring home the bonus this weekend is the only movie that's gonna set records this weekend, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So the only deciding factor here would be to choose which day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that could be a difficult choice, but here's looking at you, Saturday.
Wink! How risky is our picks? Have us your own food for thought? Leave it in the comment section below.
Remember to like this video if you like it, and click that subscribe button.
And remember, sometimes you gotta risk it to get the biscuit. Starlord out!